What is happening, guys? My name is Jamie and today we are going back to Dream Theater and we are doing the album ranking today. And you know what, guys? After discovering Dream Theater on this channel, I can just say that these guys are just absolutely fantastic. I reacted to the last album of my Dream Theater journey, which was Octavarium, and boy, a fantastic album it was, but certainly wasn't the best Dream Theater album I checked out. But in this episode, I'm going to give you an album ranking. It's not going to be a tier ranking, because I feel if doing a tier ranking, it's all going to be in B and A and S, and I don't want that. So basically, I'm just going to give you the weakest album, in my opinion, to the strongest album. This is completely my opinion, guys. I've listened to all Dream Theater albums, and I can now give you an album ranking of what my least favorite album is of Dream Theater, along with my favorite album of all time with Dream Theater. It's going to be fun. This is another Dream Theater Sunday, guys. And you know what? Sit back and relax and just enjoy my album ranking for Dream Theater. Some of you guys will be pissed. That's understandable, but you have to all remember that this is my album ranking. This is my opinion. You'll be pretty pissed if one of your favorite albums is at the bottom. But you know what? I'm pretty excited. So let's get on with it. Alright, so let's get on with my least favorite Dream Theater album, and this is their first album called When Dream and Day Unite. Look, I do enjoy this album, but I just feel it's the weakest album. Like Charlie Dominici, who was the first vocalist for Dream Theater, but Charlie's vocals are very good in this, but the only reason it's my least favorite is because James LaBrie isn't on it. I absolutely love James LaBrie's vocals. Charlie does a very good job with the vocals in this album. What is the main problem with this album is the overall production. The production is just a little bit off, in my opinion. Production is really gritty at times. The drums by Mike are really good, but I just feel that the production really lets the drums, lets the guitars, lets Mayon's bass down. It is a good album. It's a good album to very good album, but I just feel it's probably the weakest Dream Theater album. Like, I'd still probably give this a 7 out of 10, but I feel this is the weakest Dream Theater album. There are some great songs on it, like A Fortune Lies, Status Seeker, and none other than the instrumental Yet Say Jam, which is just an absolutely fantastic instrumental. It had spelt Majesty backwards. You got The Killing Hand. Probably my favorite song from this album is In the Afterlife. I love that. Love Charlie Dominici's vocals throughout that song. Only a matter of time to end the album. Album's around 50 minutes. It's an enjoyable album. I love all Dream Theater albums, and this is a very hard album ranking. Probably the hardest album ranking I ever had to do. When Dream and Day Unite is definitely better than other albums that I've listened to. No doubt, last month, this month. So I'm gonna say When Dream and Day Unite is probably the weakest album, only because the production and the songwriting is okay, in my opinion. I just feel that the lyrics are not as good as Images and Words and the Awake and Falling to Infinity albums and Train of Thought and the other albums after that. Charlie really has some really good vocals. He's got that high falsetto. There are some really stellar songs on this album. There is. So Dream Theater were off to a big start. In my opinion, it's the weakest album. So then we have the Astonishing. So the Astonishing is a very good album. It is a very good album, and it's a lot better than other albums I've listened to other than Dream Theater. It's a concept album. A concept album about the dystopian world that people were living in. You have Lord Nefarious that is absolutely ruling the world, and you have Gabriel the Astonishing. Gabriel the Astonishing is trying to stop Lord Nefarious's plans. So overall, it's got a really good story to it. The Astonishing is fantastic. It's a big world. The songs overall are very good, very good. The gift of music is magnificent, along with Brother, Can You Hear Me? But overall, what lacks with this album is the song lengths. You got 3 Days, which is hard, heavy, and gritty. I really enjoy that song. Raven's skill, a tempting offer, and a new beginning, which you have a long drawing Petrucci guitar solo. Petrucci really shines in this album along with Labrie, and you can hear Mayong throughout this album as well. Mangini is good, Mangini is very good, but I just feel in A New Beginning, he could have mixed up the drums a little bit. Like throughout the solo, and throughout that really nice bass groove throughout The New Beginning, I really wanted Mangini to really mix up the drums. Sure, he does mix up the drums throughout The Path That Divides, which is just a magnificent song, but it's the overall story that does lack a little bit on this album. It is a bit like Scenes from a Memory, but at least in Scenes from a Memory, you can follow along with the lyrics and understand what is going on. In this, you need a different sort of booklet to understand what is going on, because basically the song is just inserts of the actual story. And that really bothered me. But once you hear the full album, it's a fantastic album. I just feel that this album is a very long album. It's around 2 hours long. I have listened to this countless times, but you can't listen to this in one sitting. There are close to 32 songs with a few interludes, crazy interludes, all about the Nomax. It's a good story. What I feel that there are flaws though, that Lord Nefarious does a complete 180. 1 minute hates Gabriel, the next minute loves Gabriel, just because Gabriel had that voice of an angel to bring back faith, to bring faith back to life. So interesting story overall, but I just feel it lacks just slightly. The story lacks a little bit. It's sort of an opera. This is an opera album. Labrie absolutely shines on this album, but there are some flaws on this album. So to me, this is probably the second weakest Dream Theater album. So an album I absolutely love, but coming in is none other than The Distance Over Time, the latest album. Distance Over Time is a fantastic album, don't get me wrong, I absolutely love it, but it's going to take me a few more listens. I just feel there are other stronger works than Distance Over Time. Untethered Angels, magnificent song. Paralyzed and Fall Into Light, beautiful songs. And then you got S2N as well, which is just an amazing song, and Owen Wilson's little nugget. Wow! At Wit's End, that keyboard solo and guitar solo at the end is just breathtaking. I absolutely love it. And then you got Pale Blue Dot, which is just a magnificent song, along with the crazy instrumentals, especially throughout the middle part of the song. Labrie's vocals are fantastic. Mangini really shines on this album as well. The drum mix, the overall production is really good. I love the ballad Out of Reach. Labrie's vocals really shine on this. Like James Labrie's vocals are outstanding on this album, along with Petrucci's guitar work as well. You can hear Mayon's bass quite prominent throughout some of this album. My weakest song is Room 137. I feel that is probably the weakest song of the album. That guitar riff sounds like The Beautiful People by Marilyn Manson. But overall, the lyrics are pretty strong on this album as well. But the lyrics in the older Dream Theater albums are a lot better than this album. It's an enjoyable album and I really like it. I'm going to say that maybe this album will probably age well and probably will move up my ranking. Okay, Systematic Chaos. Systematic Chaos is a fantastic album. In the Presence of Enemies, Part 1 and Part 2 is just magnificent. What a masterpiece of a song. 25 minutes or something to listen to the whole song. It's just fantastic. And what's really interesting is how In the Presence of Enemies Part 1 bleeds onto Forsaken. What an amazing ballad that is. One of my favorite ballads of Dream Theater. Absolutely love it. But also in the Ministry of Lost Souls bleeds into the In the Presence of Enemies Part 2. So overall, you get some nice connections between these three songs. Forsaken, all about vampires. Then you got this really Metallica-based song called Constant Motion. But also the instrumental part and that fast solo by Petrucci is just absolutely amazing. Got the Dark Eternal Night as well, which is absolutely magnificent, along with Portnoy's monstrous voice on this song. And then you got Repentance, which is nice, which is a nice song, but it's a very skippable song in my opinion. But of course I always listen to it. Got that nice Pink Floyd elements, but also got the melody of This Dying Soul as well. You got the talking parts, Corey Taylor's in it. So overall, there's a lot of talking in this song, and it's, if you listen to 12 Step Sweet, and you got all the heavy songs, and you got these soft songs, and then you got the Shadow Fortress. It really works. It's like one big long song. But with Repentance on this album, you got such a awesome start to the album. Got Repentance, and then you got none other, the worst Dream Theater song in my opinion, The Prophets of War, which I do not like. Prophets of War I don't like, and this is the only song I don't like by Dream Theater. I don't like it. I don't like the Muse-inspired vocals. Don't like the Muse sound as well. But then you got one of my favorite songs of Dream Theater is The Ministry of Lost Souls, which is just absolutely beautiful song, conveys a lot of emotion. The lyrics are overall are fantastic. And then you got In the Presence of Enemies Part 2. Beautiful album overall. Really nice album. I feel that this album really lost steam at Repentance and Prophets of War. But we got the momentum back up with The Ministry of Lost Souls. So we have masterpieces of songs, but then we have also forgettable songs as well. Okay, so it's probably gonna piss a lot of people off, but you know what? It's my ranking. You gotta respect my opinions, and I will respect yours, but it's none other than Octavarium. Look, Octavarium is a very good album. It is a great album, in my opinion, but I just feel there are a lot better albums than Octavarium. The Root of All Evil. The Root of All Evil is part of the 12 Step Suite, and what a way to kick off Octavarium. But you also got these little nuggets, these little concepts throughout Octavarium, which create the bigger picture of Octavarium on the 8th track, that 24-minute masterpiece. But you got these some forgettable songs, like I Walk Beside You, U2 inspired, along with The Answer Lies Within, which is a nice ballad. But you got a Linkin Park, you could say Linkin Park inspired These Wars, because These Wars does sound like From the Inside, just a slight bit. And then you go Panic Attack, which is one of the heaviest Dream Theater songs. I just feel like it's also out of the remainings of Train of Thought. Got Never Enough, which is another song I don't really enjoy by Dream Theater because it sounds too Muse-inspired. I don't like the way James LaBrie's vocal delivery is on this album at times. It sounds very Muse-inspired. Sacrifice Sons is just a beautiful song. Beautiful song, along with the beautiful masterpiece, one of my favorite songs, Octavarium. So you got some really close to generic songs on this album, along with heavy, hard, progressive songs as well. Some of you probably would say this is your favorite album, but in my opinion, this is not the best work by Dream Theater. Just two songs that are masterpieces doesn't make this album a masterpiece. The concept is fantastic, but I'd still give this an 8 out of 10. Okay, so coming up is none other than self-titled Dream Theater. This is a very, very fun album. I have listened to this album probably over 30 times. It is such a fun album, really fun album, and I absolutely love it. I love this album, really do. So The Enemy Inside is just a brilliant song. LaBrie absolutely shines on this. The Looking Glass is a magnificent song, along with the nice instrumental, The Enigma Machine, which sounds like something out of 007. I just love how different this album is. It is a fun friggin' album. It is a great album. You got the bigger picture, which is melodic. You got the Behind the Veil, which has an awesome drawing guitar solo, along with Surrender to Reason. Weakest song would be probably Along for the Ride, but we come to this masterpiece, Illumination Theory, which is just one of the best Dream Theater songs of all time, in my opinion. This is Octavarium status here. Octavarium status. And at first I didn't really enjoy Illumination Theory, but I really have grown to love it. This album makes you love Illumination Theory. It really does. It's just the build up to this song, which is just absolutely magnificent. The way they just draw you into the album. It is such a fun album. One thing is Magini's drum mix isn't very good. Like, the drums on this album isn't very good. He got screwed over the reduction on that album. Petrucci really shines along with James LaBrise. Jordan is there, seems to be fairly in the background on this album, but he really shines throughout Illumination Theory. Absolutely love this album, really love this album, and I just feel that this album is controversial. This album is better than Octavarium. It's Black Clouds and Silver Linings. Oh, okay, so there are only 6 songs off this album, but if you add all the covers, which we're not going to add the covers because the covers I don't really enjoy. I don't really enjoy the covers. I think the most decent one is to Tame the Land, an Iron Maiden cover. I think that's the most decent one. The rest, I'm not really into the covers. But if you just put the 6 songs on, this album is just absolutely magnificent. There's not one bad song off this album. It's close to a 9 in my opinion. Give this close to a 9. It is a 9. It's a 9. A Nightmare to Remember, my second Dream Theater song I checked out. Absolutely love it. I just love the keyboard solo by Jordan, along with Petrucci's awesome guitar solos, but also Mike Portnoy incorporating those vocals as well. Those Cookie Monster vocals, you can't help but enjoy. But that melody, bang, that melody is so damn good, along with the melodic side of Nightmare to Remember. Love this song. Also love the sound effects of the cars crashing. All about the car crash. And then you have A Rite of Passage, which is just another brilliant song in my opinion. At first I didn't like it. I love the chorus now. Absolutely love this song. It's 8 minutes. It's got this awesome melody to it. Dun, 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 dun. I love the melody. And then you got this another great song called Wither. It's a ballad. Wither is more complicated. The song is like Walk Beside You. So I really enjoy this song Wither. I love that drawing guitar solo by Petrucci as well. And then you got the finale, the 12-step suite, which is just absolutely fantastic. The finale is brilliant. It's got elements of The Glass Prison. It's got elements of This Dying Soul, the root of all evil, and repentance. And it just sums up just brilliantly on what happens with Mike Portnoy. The overall lyrics are just so damn good. Oh, this song is just magnificent. Absolutely love the Shadow Fortress. And then you got the Best of Times, which is so damn emotional. And you got one of Petrucci's best guitar solos throughout the end. Brilliant. And then to end off the album is the Count of Tuscany, which is just an amazing song. And that outro is one of the best outros I've ever heard in my life, and what a way to end the album. So overall, this album is very high up on the ranking, and it's close to, if I probably had the tier list, it would be an A tier for sure. A tier. Black Clouds and Silver Linings is just close to a masterpiece of an album, better than Octavarium in my opinion. Better than Dream Theater self-titled. Okay, so the next album is Falling into Infinity. Now, this album is brilliant. I absolutely love this album. I really love it. The production overall is magnificent. It's really high up on my ranking as well. New Millennium is just a brilliant song. You Not Me is okay, sounds quite generic, but then you got Peruvian Skies, which starts off soft and slow, and it builds up to the heavy grittiness end of the song. The lyrics overall are fantastic. They got the nice ballad Hollow Years, which is catchy and burning my soul, how heavy and gritty that song is, but also leads on to Hell's Kitchen, along with a masterpiece of a song, Lines in the Sand. And then you got this nice country vibe, Take Away My Pain. LaBrie's vocals soar throughout that song, along with Just Let Me Breathe, which is an okay song in my opinion. Then you got Anna Lee, and then you have another masterpiece, Trial of Tears, which is definitely in my top 5 songs, and I absolutely love it. So Trial of Tears is just an amazing song in my opinion. But overall, this album is just a fantastic album. I know a lot of people don't like this album, But I really love this album. I do. I think there's not one bad song off this album. Not one bad song. Apart from You Not Me is still a catchy friggin' song. I know this is sort of a commercial album, but I just feel there are some... This album is just brilliant. It is brilliant. A brilliant album. To end off the album is Trial of Tears, which is one of the best Dream Theater songs. What's lacking on this album though? I would say it's probably the guitar solos. You get a nice guitar solo through Lines in the Sand, which is one of the best guitar solos, and then you get a nice guitar solo through Trial of Tears. And Derek really shines on this album. The keyboards, along with Mike's drumming as well. The production overall is just one of the best Dream Theater productions in my opinion. I absolutely love the production on this album. I think I gave it an 8, but I'm probably going to change it to a 9, because even Just Let Me Breathe and Anna Lee really grow on you. They're just beautiful songs in my opinion. This is a dramatic turn of events, an absolutely brilliant album. This is Magini's first album. Magini's first album for Dream Theater, and he absolutely slays on this album. I absolutely love the drum mix, love the production, love this album overall. On the Backs of Angels just sounds like Pull Me Under at times, especially that snare, especially that vocal melody by Labrie. It's overall so damn good. It's a bit of a throwback to Images and Words, I believe, and it does sound a bit like Images. It just sounds slightly a bit like Images and Words, but there are some different elements. Build Me Up, Break Me Down is such a unique song, especially that chorus, you build me up, you break me down. I love the lyrics throughout these songs as well. Very strong. Outcry is all about anarchy. Absolutely love that song, along with Bridges in the Sky. Especially that intro, bro, I really enjoy that. Along with this nice ballad, This Is the Life, which is just absolutely magnificent. You got Far From Heaven, which is okay. And then you got another masterpiece of a song, Breaking All Illusions. Breaking All Illusions, what a beautiful song that is, especially that solo. The Jordan, Petrucci, Bayon, and Magini and Labrie really star on this album. They are really tight and cohesive units. And then you got Beneath the Surface, which is a nice ballad in my opinion, but I just feel that this could have been in the middle, and Breaking All Illusions could have been the last song of the album, but I can understand what they were doing. I just feel that maybe the tracking was just slightly wrong on this album. But then you got Lost Not Forgotten, which is just a fantastic song. It's a fun album to listen to and I really enjoy it. Jordan's keyboard solos are magnificent on this album, along with Petrucci's solos. What a way for Magini to debut on this album. Is 6 Degrees of Inner Turbulence. This album is fantastic. It's A tier status. 6 Degrees of Inner Turbulence is brilliant. Disc 1 is just magnificent, along with that beautiful song 6 Degrees of Inner Turbulence South, and Disc 2. Wow. So the Glass Prison kicks off with the 12-step suite, and brutally of how heavy this song is. It's got all different elements of the 12-step suite as well, and you will hear different melodies throughout this song. This is basically the main song that all the other songs from the 12-step suite go back to. So you could say this is a reference. Absolutely love it. Then you got Blind Faith, which is just a beautiful song, all about talking about God, and does God exist? And then got Misunderstood, which has just a soaring chorus as well, and the ending's just so weird. Dun, dun. That the overall crazy keyboard Jordan has. Jordan absolutely stars on this album, really stars. And then you got The Great Debate, which is just a brilliant song in my opinion. Life to Save Life. Labrie shines on this album. Petrucci shines on this album. Portnoy shines on this album as well. Mike Portnoy with his excellent drumming throughout 6 Degrees of Inner Turbulence. What a fantastic song itself is. This too is amazing. But then you got this very emotional song called Disappear, which is beautiful. Labrie really shines on this. Got the crazy drum fills throughout The Glass Prison by Mike Portnoy. Crazy drumming as well in The Great Debate. Just a fantastic album. This album flows so well. It does, from the first song to the last song. and you can just listen, and I think it's about an hour and 40 minutes. Wow, it doesn't feel like an hour and 40 minutes. The way the album flows from Disappeared to the overture and About to Crash, War Inside My Head, The Test That Stumps, and All, Goodnight Kiss, Solitary, Shower, About to Crash, and Losing Time, it just flows so well together from The Glass Prison to Losing Time and Grand Finale. Beautiful album it is. Absolutely love it. Coming up is Train of Thought. Oh, this album is absolutely fantastic. It's one of the heaviest Dream Theater albums. I'm pretty sure it is the heaviest Dream Theater album. And what a way to kick off the album with As I Am. Take me as I am. I love it. LaBrie's vocals are fantastic in this. Love the gritty tone. You got This Dying Soul as well, really having some different new metal elements. Also these rap verses by Mike Portnoy through This Dying Soul, along with the heavy gritty guitar by Petrucci. You got Endless Sacrifice, which is close to a really heavy ballad in my opinion. It's got the way he uses those pinch harmonics, especially throughout the chorus, is just fantastic. You got Honor Thy Father, which is one of the most aggressive songs you can imagine in Dream Theater. The way LaBrie changes the chorus throughout that song, just full on swears throughout the conclusion of the song. Oh wow, it's just overall unbelievable, especially that breakdown. Don't cross the crooked step. Dun, 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 dun. Absolutely love it. Vacant is a beautiful ballad. LaBrie's vocals really shine on this, along with the long instrumental Stream of Consciousness, which is one of the best instrumentals in my opinion. And then to end off this album is In the Name of God, which overall is just a brilliant song. The guitar solos, the keyboards on this song, and that soaring chorus by LaBrie. Wow. The drums here by Mike in This Dying Soul is just like heartbeats ticking. I feel that the songwriting on this album is one of the best. The lyrics are so damn deep. This Dying Soul really talks about Mike's past and everything like that, and how he's struggling with alcoholism, how he's still stuck with the glass prison, taking back up elements from the glass prison itself. It's just a brilliant album in my opinion. Absolutely brilliant, and I absolutely love it. That's why it's a solid 10 out of 10. This album is Images and Words. Images and Words, what a brilliant album it is. Well, Pull Me Under, a commercial song, but damn, one of the best commercial songs in my opinion. Absolutely love the guitar riffs. Got some awesome guitar riffs by Petrucci, along with a nice solo. And that soaring chorus by LaBrie. Pull me under, pull me under. I absolutely love it. And then you got Another Day, which is one of the best ballads by Dream Theater. And then you got Take the Time. Every single member stars on this song. Petrucci stars in it, Portnoy stars in it, Mayon stars in it, along with Kevin Moore as well. Kevin Moore does some really cool stuff with the keyboards on this song. Surrounded is a nice ballad. Surrounded is nice. Probably one of the weakest songs off the album, in my opinion. Metropolis Part 1, The Miracle and the Sleeper. This is the song that started Metropolis Part 2, Scenes from a Memory. What an absolutely brilliant song. The instrumental section was to die for. Absolutely love the instrumental section. Love the crazy time signatures throughout the song. It's just brilliant. Under a Glass Moves is a song that I didn't really like, but now I absolutely love. I absolutely love the instrumental section, but it's catchy. LaBrie makes it catchy, especially that chorus. Wait for Sleep, along with one of the best outros in my opinion, Learning to Live, and where LaBrie hits that high notes. So overall, this is why it's in third position. It's because it's just a brilliant album in my opinion, and I absolutely love it. Really do. This is James LaBrie's vocal debut as well, and he really shines on this album. One of the best vocal deliveries by LaBrie as well. It's a fun album. It's a very fun album to just put on and just sit back and relax. It's a short album as well. One of the shortest Dream Theater albums, around 50 minutes. But damn, this album does pack a punch. Here's a controversy. Coming at number 2 is Metropolis Part 2, Scenes from a Memory. This is the first Dream Theater album I checked out, and I said this is my favorite album of all time. Well, there is one more album that is, in my opinion, better than Scenes from Memory, but Metropolis Part 2 Scenes from Memory is just a magnificent album. The concept alone is 10 out of 10. The music alone is 10 out of 10. Even the vocals alone are 10 out of 10. This album, what can you say? Beyond This Life, one of the heaviest songs by Dream Theater, along with that beautiful ballad Through Her Eyes, along with that awesome intercontinental feel through Home. You get these awesome guitar solos, crazy time signatures throughout the Dance of Eternity, along with how melodic the Spirit carries on another ballad and that guitar solo. Then to end it off, you got Finally Free, where we find out the psychiatrist is actually Edward himself, that also killed Nicholas at the end, who was also Victoria in the past life. It's overall just a fantastic album, and I absolutely love it. I love every single song off it. I just love how each track bleeds onto the next track. It's just brilliant. Probably one of the weakest songs off the album is probably track 4, Through My Words. It's an interlude. You could say it's an interlude, but it still conveys a lot of emotion. Fatal Tragedy is brilliant. What the Astonishing doesn't do is what Metropolis Part 2 did, and that is to tell a full, complete story on the actual album, where the Astonishing didn't tell a full story on the actual album. This tells a full story on the actual album. You can understand every single thing what happens on this album as well. You got these awesome solos by Petrucci. You got these awesome solos by Jordan Rudess as well. Mayon's bass is very prominent throughout some of this album, along with Portnoy's amazing drum fills, especially throughout Finally Free, to end off to conclude the album. But the Dance of Eternity is one of the main stars on this album, with how many signatures? Over 100 times signatures throughout this song. But the classical piano by Jordan throughout this. But along with this, they keep the same melodies throughout these songs. It's like you get Strange Deja Vu, which has the same melody as One Last Time throughout that chorus. Like dun, 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 dun. I love that melody. Absolutely love it. So guys, coming in at number 1, my favorite Dream Theater album of all time is the Awake album. This is the best album I have ever heard in my life. Absolutely love it. There is not one bad song off this album. 6 o'clock in the Christmas morning, 6 o'clock. I love that song. I love When Caught in a Web, Innocence Faded. It's Amazing Sweet as well. Erotomania is my favorite instrumental from Dream Theater. Absolutely love it. Voices. What an amazing song this is. Petrucci's guitar solo on this song is my favorite solo by Petrucci. It's probably my favorite solo of all time. I absolutely love Petrucci's solo on this song. And then you got that nice ballad, The Silent Man. But it just keeps on going, doesn't it? You get a little bit of rest, but then you get this hard, gritty song, The Mirror, along with Lie, which you just can't take a break. But then we get this nice ballady moment. Mayon writes this song called Lifting Shadows Off a Dream, which is just one of the best Dream Theater songs in my opinion. Absolutely love it. And then you got this awesome, beautiful, melodic song called Scarred, which is so damn good. And then to just end off the album is Space Dyed Vest, which is the only song ever to give me goosebumps ever in my life. I've never had goosebumps with a song except this song, Space Dyed Vest, which is so damn eerie, especially that piano. Dun, 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 by Kevin Moore. Kevin Moore is so damn prominent on this song, but also LaBrie's vocal delivery is just so eerie as well, and just how atmospheric this album is. In my opinion, this is the best Dream Theater album. Best Dream Theater album, hands down, in my opinion. You got Image and Words and Metropolis Part 2 really tossing up between those 3 albums. But those are my top 3 albums. But Awake The Awake is a little bit higher than the other albums that I've mentioned. This album is a very fun album, but the lyrics overall are really strong as well. His voice is an amazing song, the story of it. Kevin Moore really shines on this album as well, especially throughout Erotomania, the voices, and also the Mirror. What's awesome is that they have this same melody as Space Divest throughout the Mirror, which also questions, is there an actual concept to the album? Like, this album is the best Dream Theater album in my opinion, and I absolutely love it. So guys, that's my album ranking for Dream Theater. You guys have been waiting for this, and I really hope I haven't disappointed you, but I might have put your favorite album really low in the ranking, but you know what? This is my opinion. And Dream Theater have topped these guys. Dream Theater are my favorite band of all time. They are. And I absolutely love them. I love every single song apart from Prophets of War, which I don't really like. And Never Enough is okay in my opinion. It's starting to grow on me. But yeah, I can't get into Prophets of War. That's the only song that I don't like by Dream Theater. The rest, all the songs are absolutely amazing. Close to 10 out of 10 in my opinion. There are some masterpiece songs. There are some very good songs. There's only about one average song. That's about it. The rest are just amazing. What an adventure we've had. Over a year now, I discovered Dream Theater. And you guys, without you guys, I don't think I would have discovered Dream Theater. Thank God I had you guys to just push me in reacting to more Dream Theater. And it finally clicked after Scenes from a Memory. I said, wow, I just listened to one of the best albums of all time. And then I listened to Awake and I said, oh, wow, this is better than Scenes from a Memory. And then Images and Words came along, and I reacted to some more albums, 6 Degrees of Inner Turbulence. Like, 6 Degrees of Inner Turbulence really does grow on you. But in my opinion, Dream Theater is one of the best bands in the world. They are one of the best progressive metal bands in the world. So guys, I hope you did enjoy the Dream Theater Sunday episode for this week. Guys, comment below your album ranking. Do you agree with my album ranking or not? Keep the discussion going in the comment section below. And I will see you in the next one.